Hi, Shell Point. I'm Christy Skinner, your Senior Director of Healthcare Services, joined today by Paul Tyson, Director of Dining, bringing you another edition of Healthy Eating. So today we're talking about pears, another great whole food that is great for your health and great for your overall well-being. We know that eating healthy and eating whole foods is great for your overall health. Not only is it good to keep you slim and trim, but it's also good for a number of cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and a plethora of other health and wellness issues. So why do we feel like this is an important segment to bring to you? Because we want to keep you healthy for longer, because we've heard you and we know that your overall goal is to stay as healthy as long as possible. It keeps you independent, it keeps you active, it keeps you out of the hospital, and it keeps you home. So Paul, thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the nutritional value of pears and why they're so good for you, and then Paul and I will talk about a few things that he can help you with from the dining aspect. So pears are a mild and sweet fruit with a fibrous center. They are rich in antioxidants, flavonoids, and dietary fiber, and all of these nutrients are packed in a delicious fruit that are fat-free, cholesterol-free, and under 100 calories. So here's the skinny on nutrition. Eating one medium pear provides you with 12% of your daily vitamin C, 10% of vitamin K, and 6% of potassium, as well as smaller amounts of the following: calcium, magnesium, riboflavin, folate, and vitamin B6. So Paul, can you tell us a little bit more about pears from a consumer's point of view?
Sure, absolutely. Well, there's a well-known fact about the pears that they don't actually ripen on the tree. So you want to, after you've picked them from the tree, they're still hard, but you want to allow them to ripen in a warm, sunny area for several days until the neck of the pear yields to pressure. Refrigeration, although, actually stops the process. So if you try to put it in the fridge, it's going to stop the ripening process.
So traditionally I would think that cooking with a pear, I would turn it into a dessert. So how else do I use a pear that's creative in cooking?
Pears are fun. You can cut it in half and drizzle it with oil and seasoning and roast it. You could poach it for a dessert or whatnot. You can chop it up and saute it in with some of your special vegetables. Chef has come up with all of our chefs have come up with some very creative ways to handle and cook pears. So there's quite a variety of ways to do it. Luckily for us as fruits and vegetables, there's almost every way. Raw, you name it, they're good for us, and they can be eaten any way you want.
How many varieties of pears are there?
So the most famous one in the U.S. is the Bartlett pear. So that's the most popular one. That's the one we know the most. Most recognizable. It's grown in Oregon and Washington, so mostly on the West Coast. But actuality, there's about 3,000 different kinds of pears around the world. We know in the United States mostly the Bartlett.
Okay.
But there's 3,000 of them that we can entertain and mess with.
That's that's hard to believe that there's that many kinds of pears. So I guess we could have a different pear for quite a few years and never have the same pear twice. But that's good to know that you could try a different pear almost all the time. And are there quite a different amount of varieties available at different grocers, or do they typically carry only a few?
The most popular would be the one that we know the most.
Yeah.
You'd have to, I think the more intricate farmer's market and the more specialized food stores you go to, you might find some different varieties. But for the average run-of-the-mill grocery store, it's usually the Bartlett.
Probably the
top
most five.
Popular. Yeah.
Okay, well.
A couple of different varieties.
Well, I'm going to have to try to find as many as I can, because now it seems like a challenge that you've given me to see how many different pears I can find out in the market.
And then we can see how the chefs can make all those 3,000 different dishes.
I know. That would be fun too, because I'm sure they've all got a little bit different of a flavor profile to them as well.
Absolutely.
So you've given us a few tips on how you would make pears different and incorporate them into menu items. So we're at the Springs Dining Room, which if somebody hasn't been here by now and seen how beautiful it is and seen the different setup, and it's got a gorgeous private dining room. It's even got beautiful bench seating, and it's got
the omelet stations in the morning, and the induction cookers. It's a really beautiful spot.
It's really a fun atmosphere to come out and try the dining room. So to me, it's another restaurant to come and try. I think of all of our assisted livings as an extension of restaurants and choices that a resident might have to come and dine with a friend. So we're going to be joined by Chef Daniel here at the Springs Dining Room, and he's going to tell us how he's incorporated pears into a couple of different menu items here at the Springs. So Chef Daniel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And if you'll describe for us what you have, and if both of those look delicious.
This is you're eating light and you're eating right. This is a pear salad and squash. It comes with creme raisins. One's a poached pear, one's a raw pear. The micro herbs, raspberry vinaigrette. Then you finish it with a butternut squash and pear creme brulee. And you have a chocolate sauce. It's awesome. So enjoy.
Thank you so much. So one of the unique things, so for the fall, for the months of October and November, we have pears and squash as a couple of our healthy choices, along with a couple of others that are our brain food items. So you've put pears and squash into the creme brulee,
That's
correct?
correct.
So I thought that was really creative that you paired the foods together. So that's how you've prepared this one. Is there anything else that's a little bit unique in this? You said a chocolate sauce that goes with it too?
It's a chocolate coconut sauce. So you caramelize the poached pears on top of the creme brulee that's already baked with the squash and the pears. It's tremendous flavors. And then you have Brussels sprouts with bacon that have been candied. It's tremendous.
So you used all four of the foods. So the dark chocolate and the Brussels sprouts are the brain foods that we're highlighting, and then you used the squash and the pears, which are the health foods that we're showcasing. I told him, being a little bit of an overachiever, which is a sign of a truly talented chef, you've incorporated all of those menu items in, and I'm sure it's delicious. So please come out and try these items at the Springs. We'd love for you to come join and meet Chef Daniel and get to know our chefs too. So this is a really great way to see the talent that we have and the depth of talent that we have in the chefs. And that's one of the things that I think they found really fun was you give them 4 basic whole foods and say, go to town and have fun creating recipes and creating menu items that really showcase the talent that you have and look at what they've been able to create, which is part of the fun in exhibiting the talent that they have here at Shell Point and that we're blessed with. It just is it never ceases to amaze me what we have here as far as talent at Shell Point, whether it be in the dining area, whether it be in the amenity area, whether it be in healthcare, which I'm a little bit biased to, or beyond. So thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Chef Daniels. And thank you so much to the Springs for hosting us today. And Shell Point, if you haven't gotten the message already, you can tell that we want to take care of you, mind, body, and spirit with your health. So take time to try something that you haven't tried before and be a little bit adventurous. Go and try to tell me how many pears you found of the 3,000 options of pears. I think Paul and I would be curious to know which one of you finds the most. So thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay healthy.